Today's episode of Tasting Natural Wines with Jesse and Aaron.
Taste it.
I don't want to.
I mean, it's not bad. Hello and welcome to the 10th episode of Cellarets and Cellarets. And welcome to our new studio where we've adorned a big-ass snake on our wall.
It's beautiful. I'm Aaron Inman,
And I'm Jesse Inman.
and today we're going to talk about
Wine hacks. This is just a regular bottle. This is a bottle that's been open for 3 days, give or take. This is a Corvin. We'll go into that. This is a inert gas that was sprayed into an open bottle. And then this is one of the other bottles that was poured into an airtight bottle to store it, basically simulating the wine that you're not going to drink later on.
Yeah, there'll be a test on that later. Today, the main issue is single serving options, preserving wine once you open it. I mean, a lot of times I'll just crush the whole bottle.
Yeah.
And then
I wait. He gets T-Rex arms when he drinks too much.
But then the next day, when I start work around 4 in the afternoon with creases on my face, I'm like, oh man, that was a terrible decision.
Yeah.
My family's upset, my business partner's upset, I'm upset with myself. The reality is that's not the only thing to do, is just go ahead and drink the whole bottle. You can use these wine hacks. They kind of mimic a single serving option, which the wine business isn't great at. There are 375 bottles, which is a half a bottle. They're okay, they're a little more expensive.
They're more expensive, and basically, I want 3 glasses.
And they don't age that well, to be honest with you. That's been
Yeah,
proven.
because the cork's the same size in a big bottle and a small bottle, and so it's the same amount of oxygen with half as much wine.
End of the day, the single serving options in wine are not awesome, but they're getting better. Cans are helping with that. We might be canning some wine soon. That's interesting. So we're gonna go into these hacks a little bit more over the next few minutes, and you can use these at home to save some leftover wine, especially from Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving's coming up. That turkey's gonna be delicious, but you're gonna want to save that Grand Cru that I'm sure you're gonna have, but you're not wanna go crush that whole thing with the turkey, because the next day you still gotta do the dishes. All right, so for hack number 1, this is a personal favorite for myself. I use it every other night, not nightly.
And didn't you just say your son asked if you drink wine every night?
He asked me if wine goes with every meal.
Yeah, and which it does.
What I do a lot of times at home is we open a bottle on, say, Monday night, get the roast chicken, as we do. So there's a half a bottle left. My wife and I didn't drink the whole thing. But it's usually, something we want to save. So I have 2 of these 187 bottles at home. I think some people call them woozy bottles. You can order them on Amazon or different places. They're really cheap. You can pick them up at the Container Store.
Yeah.
And so what I do is I simply take the rest of that bottle and over the sink, I gently pour it into this 180.
How gently?
As gentle as a man can be. And I roughly jam it into the bottle, that one bottle into the other bottle, and then I just put it into I just put the cap on gently. And then I put it in the fridge. If you're gonna drink it the next day, not only do you have a nice, basically 1 glass of wine, single serving, this is about 6.5 ounces, something like that, which to me is about a perfect 1 glass. So you have that for the next night. And so it's a great cheap hack. Basically this costs you $1.50. If you want to funnel, like some employees around our office are just a little nervous with their shaky hands, and so they want to funnel, that's fine. You're gonna be into it for maybe $6, $7, $8.
Yeah, but you'll save yourself a lot of money.
And you're gonna save yourself a lot of money, and it's nice to have that single serving option for the other nights of the week, and this will last in the fridge 5 days later.
And key in on the fact that he said put it in the fridge. All of these wines will hold better if you put them in the fridge. It'll have to warm up when you take it out, but even though it's a red wine, put it in the fridge, it'll make the wine age slower because things react slower when they're cold.
Get your MacGyver on this.
Our next wine hack is private preserve. We've been using this for a long time. All the wineries we have worked at, this would always be behind the counter end of the day if they didn't want to throw away the wine. This will help keep it a day or 2 longer, depending on how full the bottle is and how much you have to spray in there. But in essence, this is CO2, argon, and nitrogen. And so when you're done at the end of the drinking sesh, you pop the cork off, put this down there, give it 1 little toot, 2 little toots, something like that. Put the cork
I'm
back
tooting
on.
right now.
Basically, it just displaces the oxygen. All the gases in here are heavier, and so they keep the oxygen off the wine.
And it can add up. I mean, those cans are about $10.
Yeah. And
so
it's funny, it feels like there's nothing in here. It's actually lighter than air. So it feels like you're getting ripped off. But in fact, you're not.
yeah, and so it'll last, I mean, maybe a month, but about $10. You can pick them up at most wine stores, Bevmo.
Like I said, we've used it for years. And so it's worked relatively well.
All right, so now we got the Cadillac big time baller hack.
Yeah.
This one, as you can see, the cork is still in there, and there's wine out of there. That's because the Coravin system allows you to use a needle to puncture the cork. The gas trades places
It
with the
basically
wine.
turns the bottle into a keg. You're pushing air down and wine out.
That inert gas is replacing the wine, and you're not getting any oxygen on the wine.
Yeah, and whereas the private preserve was CO2, nitrogen, and argon, the Coravins, I believe they're only argon. And argon's a little heavier and it reacts less with the wine than, say, CO2.
But at the end of the day, it is expensive. Coravin system, they've got a couple tiers, but like your base model, it's going to cost you about $200. And then the cartridges, I find them a little cumbersome. The whole thing can be just a little bit cumbersome,
Yeah.
but that's just me. So I tend to not use them. I have one and I don't use it that often. I tend to actually use the hack that we described earlier. That's a little small.
Yeah, and I recently bought a Coravin, I think it was a year or two ago. It came with a pack of screw caps. So you can put screw caps on top of, you unscrew your screw cap, put the new one on, and you can puncture the membrane, and then that basically turns it into a cork. Maybe not as effective because you need to take the top off.
And as we know here, good wine can come in screw cap. So you want to be able to use your Coravin on that.
So you mean wines can be made with intention, not pretension?
Are we gonna jump, or we're just gonna each other off?
So to test these wine hacks, we are going to taste the same wine, a 2019 Pinot Noir from Les Lunes, the Berserker Vineyard, which is in Sonoma County, Los Carneros, which is kind of the southern end.
Brewski.
Brewski Vineyard. Okay, what did I call it?
Berserker.
So these guys are interesting. They're kind of a little bit more of a natural, winey, like
We call it
hipster,
hipster wine.
hipster wine. Some people have said that we're hipster, but I don't agree.
No, we're bro dudes.
You're a full-on basic bro.
So anyways, these guys are low sulfites, which will affect how it stands up
It won't
to...
age as long. And also, because it's Pinot, it's going to fall off the flavor cliff a lot faster than, say, Cabernet, because the lighter wine doesn't have as much tannin, but it does have a little bit more acid. But anyway, it's going to age significantly different than Cabernet.
It's really an introduction to their winery. We don't know anything about it, but it's also a fun way to test these hacks. Yeah.
So this is wine one. We don't know what this is yet.
We don't know what it is.
This is going to be interesting because it's already seems like low sulfite. It's got whole cluster, so there's a lot going on in there.
Yeah, it already is actually, the fruit is showing a little
Ooh, and it's
pruny. It's showing a little pruny fruit, like a little oxidized fruit, like that kind of like fruit leather. It's a little bit like feet,
In a good way.
because we all like to chew on a dirty sock. It does have a little dirty sock to it too, which pairs really well with cheese.
Sounds like it's kidding, but it's true. Yeah, it's got some fizz, which means there's either bottled with residual CO2 in the wine, or it wasn't quite finished fermenting yet, and it started to re-ferment in the bottle, and so the CO2 can't get out, and so it creates fizz in the wine.
The mouthfeel is lean. You can definitely taste that whole cluster. It is spicy.
Because this has so much CO2, I would imagine you didn't pour it into a bottle, because that would have scared some of the CO2 out.
If I had to guess, I'm thinking that kind of oxidative notes are actually part of the wine,
Yeah.
not necessarily from leaving the bottle open.
I'm guessing this is either the Coravin or the unopened bottle, the fresh bottle.
I was gonna roll with that it was probably the Coravin, but it could be either one. Wine number 2, it's funny because the fruit actually isn't smelling as oxidized on this one now. It's a little bit, it's still kind of that cherry fruit, but that, what I was calling feet aroma on wine 1, it's not as funky, but it's like flattened out.
Taste it.
I don't want to.
So this might not have been the best wine to pick to do, because the hipster wine, as we were saying earlier, they can tend to vary bottle to bottle, and this one tastes way different than the other one, and I don't think it's because of it being open or not. This one has
Ooh, it's very
microbial.
It's very microbial. Yeah, there's a lot of like spoiled chocolate, kind of milky chocolate.
Maybe a little.
Well, it's got that, but it's also got like that, like kind of maybe some like malactic ferment in the bottle.
Yeah, I think it's
like
got
yogurty.
Pediococcus.
Some interesting bugs working on this wine for sure. You do get that, like you said, with the more the folks that skew more the natural wines. They can be a little inconsistent sometimes, and right here we're experiencing that. Those wines taste very different.
This one, not enjoying fully. The other one was, I thought was an interesting one. This one's got some weirdness. But if you had to guess which one, you think it'd be the Coravin? Because it's still got the CO2 in it. It's Definitely got some.
I'm gonna say this is the open bottle. I think maybe that air allowed it to go a little bit rampant.
Yeah, maybe so. Because even with a wine with a little CO2 in it, the CO2 in the wine as it comes out is going to protect it too, because it's going to push all the oxygen up. So this is an interesting one to do this experiment on. On to wine number 3.
Okay, so wine 3 smells like wine 1.
Yes.
So I think we don't have any bottle variation on this one. So you've got, the fruit's a little brighter on this one.
And there's more CO2 in it. Dude, now that we're talking about it, I think number 2 had to be the open one. Just because it was so different. Because this is definitely more like number 1.
The acidity on it comes off as a little too sour.
And that's because of CO2. I think if you let it sit open, the CO2 would blow off and it would be less tart. Because CO2 is acidic.
This one, it's hard to peg, I would say, because the CO2...
It's either the Corvin or the fresh open one. And I'm confused between number 1 and number 3. They're very similar.
And, I mean, theoretically, Corvin and unopened bottle are supposed to be very similar, especially for the first pour on the Corvin. This would be the second pour, because we poured out 1 full glass of that in prep. So yeah, I think that, I don't know which one is which, but I think 1 and 3 are...
Look how I'm holding my glass. Isn't that pretty cool? It's like I don't care.
Yeah. Hey, I'm just talking over here. I'm gonna interrupt my brother.
But look how cool it was.
It's fruity, it's a little funky.
Similar to the first one.
Similar to the first one. Pretty acidic, low alcohol, and that's not a bad thing, but it definitely has a leaner mouthfeel because of that. I've been trying more some like low touch wines lately, and they've been burning me a little bit.
Well, I mean, if you mass produce a wine and there's that much bottle variation, people are gonna get pissed off. On to wine number 4.
Wine 4.
I'd say this is in between.
And it's opened up. It's like opened up a little bit.
Ooh. I mean, not bad. That is wild, my friend. So this is either the one you put in the small bottle, or it's the... Wow. I know, I don't like to be super critical, but because I appreciate all winemaking, but that's rough.
Woo! Just got my penicillin dose. Wow, that's gross. Damn it. Yeah, it's got to be a small bottle.
Wow. 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 Wow.
Wow.
Wow.
Dude, no, there's no way that up. Really?
Number 2 and number 4 were both pretty woof. Wine number 5.
Wine number 5.
Yeah. It's funny. I hate when people talk about our wines, you know? Like, it hurts my feelings, but our wines don't taste like this.
We're not talking so much as we're just speaking the gospel. This is what we're tasting. I mean, nose is opening up a little bit on that one. Small bottle, because the only reason I say that
a little bit
is it's opened up but it's still fresh. It's not from the bottle.
And it does have a little bit of that really wild component, but nowhere near 1 and 2 and 4.
Yeah, which it seems like it's been controlled. Yeah.
I don't know if we learned a lot today, other than you want to drink these wines right when you open them. This is one where you just drink it all.
Yeah. No wine hack. Make sure there's 4 of you, or 1 of you is real thirsty.
Or if you wait a day or 2 to drink the rest, make sure you really, really like kombucha. I'm never doing this show again.
My favorite of the 5 wines was probably the last one we had. I thought it was a version of 1 and 3, but more open.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying that's the small bottle. So I think wine 5, small bottle. I think the first wine was either the Corvin or the fresh bottle, and wine 3 was the other one of those 2. It was either the Corvin or the small bottle. I think number 2 was the opened bottle on the counter, like nothing. And I think wine 4 was maybe the one with just a private preserve.
See, I think the opposite of those last 2, but...
Well, so we did learn a little something from that, because we were somewhat on, a little variation, but overall you could kind of tell.
Obviously the fresh bottle, fresh. The Corvin, fresh. And the Woozy, fresh. Pretty fresh.
Pretty
Maybe
fresh.
Slightly less though, but it's going to last for several days.
Pretty fresh. But the oxygen one didn't do shnikes.
Yeah.
So maybe just invest in a Woozy if you want to go the less expensive route on wine hacks, for sure. Because that seemed to be pretty good.
Very interesting experience. Very interesting wine. I mean, that was an intense wine.
That wine was like dating a bipolar woman. Like, there was elements of it that were really great, and there was elements of it that were a little challenging.
So I feel like we've learned a lot here on this episode, both about ourselves, about the wine hacks, and basically everything in between.
Yeah, it was fun. Hopefully you guys learned a couple things. I know I did about myself.
Yeah, some real personal exploration happened today. And where we would normally give a shout out to your favorite wine on the exit, we're gonna go with a palate cleansing Topo Chico.
Always looking for sponsors. See you on the next episode.